Assalamualaikum and good day to Madam Hafiza. Before we begin, let me introduce to you me myself, Adam Emil Fikri bin Udin, and my colleague is Encik Muhammad Kusairi bin Abdul Rahim. So, before that, here are some interesting facts about two cases of this study. First, Asia. Did you know that Tony Fernandez bought Asia in 2001 for just 1 ringgit? Amount in USD is about 26 cents. The company drowning in debt, but he transformed the low cost airline become one of the giants in the company, not only in Malaysia but in the whole world. Their slogan, "Now everyone can fly," wasn't just marketing. They made flying affordable for millions of Asians, especially in Malaysia, because before this they never fly in the airplane. Next, we look into BYD, which is BYD actually stand for Build Your Dreams. They started as a small battery manufacturers in 1995, and now in 2024 they overtook Tesla, which is the leading company for EV industry by volumes. What makes them unique is they build everything in house from batteries into their cars. Now, these two companies have in common they both operate in oligopoly markets. So, let's explore what that means and how it shaped their strategies. Okay, what is oligopoly? An oligopoly is a market structure where a small number of large firms dominate their industry. Let me explain each characteristic with real example from Asia and BYD. First, we look a market dominated by a few large firms. Example in airline industry only operate in Malaysia. We can see Asia, Malaysia Airlines, and Malindo, which is this the three giants company in Malaysia. So they control most domestic and regional routes. Okay, in China, EV market, BYD, Tesla, NIO, and XPeng dominates the sales. Second, we look into significant or control over pricing and supply. We can look, for example, Asia can influence ticket price across the market. They launch a promotional fare, competitors are pressured to respond. BYD pricing of its EV forces Tes- Tesla and NIO to adjust their own pricing strategies. Next, we look into decisions affect and are affected by the rivals. For example, when AirAsia opens a new route to Bangkok, so the other airlines, which is, for example, we can look into Malaysia Airlines and also Malindo Air, they must decide whether to match it or focus elsewhere. For example, maybe Malindo can focus another country. For example, can focus into Vietnam. So for BYD, when they cut battery costs through vertical integration, Tesla must find ways to reduce their own costs. Next, we look into high barriers to entry for new competitors. For example, for airline industries, to starting a company, you need a big capital. Yes, because we need to buy aircraft, airport slots, and regulatory approval from the government. For EV markets, you need such high, massive research and development investment in battery technology, manufacturing plants, and government certification. Next, we look into strategic interdependence among firms. For example, if Asia they just monitor Malaysia Airlines, Malindo Air, so they monitor the fare change, the route announcement before they making decisions. BYD maybe they can watch Tesla product launch closely. When Tesla produce a new model, BYD also will go full acceleration to push to release a new model also. Six is the last is we look into non-price competitions, branding and innovation. For example, Asia use their branding famous branding terms, which is now everybody can fly, which is they go through mobile app, big loyalty program. This just not a cheap fares, but they use other platform wisely. BYD they compete through its blade battery technology and vertical integration rather than simply undercutting the prices. Okay, so next we look AirAsia in Malaysia Airlines market. AirAsia leads Malaysia's budget airline sector alongside with Malaysia Airlines and Malindo Air. Few competitors only dominate the Malaysia airline industry market. For example, like I previously give example, which is AirAsia, Malaysia Airlines, and Malindo. For example, if you want to fly from KL to Kota Kinabalu, your choice are essentially you will choose Malaysia Airlines, AirAsia, Air, or Malindo Air. New airlines can't easily enter because they need billions in capital to operate to start up a new airlines. These three firms watch closely each other. For example, when Asia launched a promotion, Malaysia Airlines also, Malindo Airline also responded within the same period. What they focus on their launch. For example, if promotion, they focus on promotion. Okay, next we look into features in Asia markets. First, limited price competition. When AirAsia offers a RM99 fare to Bangkok, Malaysia Airlines won't drop to RM50 to undercut them. Why? Because that triggers a price war where everyone loses money. This is the king demand curve in action. Price tend to stay sticky around a certain level. Next, we look into non-price competition. For example, instead of cutting fares, AirAsia invests in its super app, premium flatbed seats, and their big loyalty program. Malaysia Airlines counter with its enriched frequent flyer program and lounge access. The battle is fought on experience, not just price. Next is strategic monitoring of rivals. For example, when Malindo Air introduced free check baggage on all flights, AirAsia immediately promote its own value pack bundle baggage with meals. They have team dedicated to tracking computer pricing daily. Last is market independence example when AirAsia announced new routes to Japan, Malaysia Airlines added more frequency on the same routes. One firm expansions directly triggers a response from their rivals. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass this presentation to my colleague Encik Muhammad Kuzairi. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Kuzairi and I will be continue about the slide according to my partner, which is previously Mr. Adam. So now I will explain about BYD in China EV market. So first of all, let's talk about how BYD is actually one of the largest EV companies in China. And in fact, for them, their main competitor are Tesla, NIO, and Xpeng. This company dominate the market, make it an oligopoly market, where only few firms control the industry. And it is actually quite difficult for new companies to enter because basically they need advanced technology, large investment, and they also have to follow strict government regulations. BYD stays competitive by investing heavily in R&D, or also we call as research and development, especially in their battery technology and vehicle innovations. The company also have a strong manufacturing capabilities which help to reduce costs and improve their product quality. And because of this trend, BYD remains one of the leading EV company in China. Next, let's look at the main features of an oligopoly in BYD's market. Okay, in this slide, I will explain a few characteristics of an oligopoly. First, a few firms control the market. Companies like BYD, Tesla, NIO, and Xpeng have the largest market share. Second, companies compete through innovation and R&D. They improve battery technology, vehicle performance, and new features instead of competing only price. Third, government subsidies and policies support the EV industry but also make it harder for new companies to actually enter the market. And last but not least, there is a market interdependence, which is, it means one company's decisions, such as they want to change the price or they want to introducing a new technology, which that will also affect its competitor. And that is the main reason why China's EV market is an oligopoly. Theoretical applications. In this part, we're gonna compare AirAsia and BYD using oligopoly theory. Firstly, about AirAsia. Prices usually remain stable because companies want to avoid price war. And instead, they compete through branding, customer service, and also the marketing. Meanwhile, on another hand, for BYD, competition focus more on innovation. The company keep invest in research and development to improve battery technologies and produce better electric vehicles. Government also help shape competition through subsidies and regulations. In this part, both AirAsia and BYD show strategic interdependence where each company must consider its competitors before making business decisions. And after this, I will summarize the key point. Conclusion. In conclusion, there are 4 key takeaways. First, an oligopoly market is controlled by only a few large firms. And to continue that, in second, the company compete through innovation, branding, and business strategy, not only through price. Third, AirAsia and BYD are good examples of successful companies in an oligopoly market. And finally, strategic interdependence means company must always think about how competitors will react to their decisions. As an overall, for them, continuous innovation and good business strategies are actually very important as for long-term success.